It's so true. Yeah, and you look at those temperatures today, and I was just saying Dallas and London are matching temperatures today, and Dallas is really at the very center of our heat dome that we have in the U.S. So London at 97 now. I was saying earlier, Paris 102 degrees. To put that into perspective, at New Orleans at the airport, our all-time record high, the highest it's ever been recorded there, is 102 from 1980. Now today's forecast for us about 94, so not near our all-time record, but just kind of interesting. And that 104, the highest ever recorded in the UK recently, you can see at Slidell, that's also the all-time record. That was from 1964. Today's forecast, Slidell, about 94, 95. By the way, we were also talking about that Paris temperature of 102. Looking around France, you might be following the Tour de France. We're right in the middle of it right now. And really, of course, where they're riding at this point is just southwest of Toulouse, and it's only 91 degrees. There was 93 just a little while ago. Looking at the forecast for the Tour de France, again, just in case you're curious, tomorrow it's finally going to be much cooler. Temperatures in the 70s for the 80 miles they'll be riding tomorrow. Mainly dry conditions, but once they get to Paris on Sunday for the final day of the Tour de France, it will likely be back to 93. Even Paris, though, is looking a little cooler tomorrow, with temperatures maybe in the 70s and 80s the next few days. But then again, warming up for Sunday for the final day, those 72 miles by then. Also, we're talking about the Tour de France. A lot of times they've been saying, if you've been following the coverage, it's about 40 degrees Celsius. That corresponds, of course, in my brain, I always try to do the math. It's really difficult for me, but it corresponds to about 104 Fahrenheit. So they've been really dealing with a lot of excessive heat over there. And then once you get to about 25 degrees Celsius, remember that's comfortable 77. For us, I guess you could say our forecast today is 35 degrees Celsius or so. Current temperatures across the U.S. and southeast U.S., getting back to what's going on here, are pretty hot in the 90s right now. A big bubble of heat building over northeast Texas and parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma, and we are on the fringes of that big high. So that's why we're under a heat advisory for North Shore areas today, a heat index up to 110. You know what to do. Take it easy outside. Don't stress your body too much. Take breaks in the air conditioning and shade. And remember to drink a lot of water and stay hydrated. Temperatures right now in the lower 90s. Our feels like temperatures as high as about 110 for some locations. A lot of spots, especially in the metro area, around 100 for the feels like. And not a lot popping up on radar just yet. A little bit around Grand Isle and south along the coast, but today we'll keep the rain chance on the lower end, about 30%, a few downpours possible, highs about 94 or so. Check on your feels like temperature through the afternoon, and even the evening should finally start to be feeling like the 90s. Overnight, we get into the 70s for lows, 75 north and about 78 south. And all we're seeing with our upper pattern this week is our high building in from the west. So continuing hot and humid all the way into the weekend. Looking at our 7-day forecast, you can see steady July forecast. At least there is nothing happening in the tropics right now. Really nice to say that, as we're not looking at any development. We continue, though, with those middle 90s and easily heat index values up to about 105 or so for the next several afternoons.
All right, check this out. Rain and flooding in New York.